and we are here to share some incredible stories about what this amazing technology is doing for each and every one of us. I think I might share a little bit more of the progress on my testimony a little bit later, but that we will get to. Right, we'll fill in the gaps with some Andrew stories. But for now, we do have some people who have said that they would love to share, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of these testimonies for the very first time. Last time we had one of these calls, I needed to go and find a box of Kleenex. Yeah, and because I was just blown away and amazed at what is happening in people's lives from this incredible product. It's unbelievable. And the things that people have been experiencing and the life-changing stuff that is happening, it's nothing short of a miracle. So let's get into the call tonight. Let's then share some more information with each other and encourage each other to just keep on keeping on. All right. Hein, I think we're going to have you up first and really looking forward to hearing your story. So, Hein, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and then you will be able to share your story. Thank you. Hein, are you unmuted? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Good, good. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. It's actually very warm in Cape Town, so I don't know where the cold is coming from. Sorry to hear that. It's beautiful weather in Cape Town. Yeah, but anyway, so I'll keep it short. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in September 2024, and I've gone through extensive and very tough chemotherapy starting in October this last year. And my journey basically with the patches started off with my wife patching me every day since I've been diagnosed. And right through chemo, she patched me. And I must be honest, I was very skeptical at the beginning, and especially as a young man in his 40s. Um, when you get diagnosed with a disease like that, you are mad for the world, and you're mad with everybody, and mad at God and everything. And there's not a lot of things that's going to make you positive. But nevertheless, my wife persisted that I keep on patching me, and I sit here today before you, gone through chemo for 7 months. The first 4 months was every second week of 4 hours, 5 hours chemo. And after that, every third week, I had 3 to 4 days in a row chemotherapy. I can promise you that I didn't look the way I look now. I looked terrible. And from stage 4, I had cancer in my spleen. I had cancer in my back. I had cancer in all my lymph nodes, and I had cancer in my bone marrow. My last PET scan my last chemotherapy was end of February, and my last PET scan was now in end of March, or actually in April, sorry, late in April. No, was it April? Was it April? End of April. March, April, yeah, end of April. And I'm in total remission. I'm clean. There's not a sign of cancer in my body. Nothing. It's all gone. Right through chemo, I have the symptoms was really, really, honestly, if I didn't wear the patch, I felt I had chemo. I don't know how I can explain that to you. Um, there was pain, obviously, there was nauseous, but once I got the patch on, yeah, it's really great stuff. I mean, I 110% believe in this product. And I just thought, I need to share this with you guys, and I need to share it with everybody that I speak to in the world, because this is life changing, and it's life saving. So that's all from me.
That's awesome. Can you tell us what patches you were using, Hein?
I was using the X39 and also
LifeWave
LifeWave.
and
Was it
the
an X
Aeon.
and the Aeon?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I started later on with the X49 as well. And sometimes when he was a bit weak of the chemo, I also gave him the energy patch, and that was giving him a lot of energy because he was on the field with my son playing cricket and rugby.
I was training as well. I was doing mountain biking as well while on chemo.
So the doctor couldn't believe his eyes when he got his PET scan, and he said he can't believe he was so sick. He didn't thought that he's going to stand after this, and he was pulling through, and yeah, it's just amazing.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. There's no other words to describe it. That's fantastic. That's
Thank
fantastic.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. It's
No
really,
problem.
it's encouraging. And yeah, all the best. Just keep on patching. And I'm looking forward to more incredible stories of this renewed life.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Lizelle, do you have something to share with us?
Oh, I've also started a year ago with the patches. My friend Liesel, she introduced it to me. I was quite sick. In 2022, I had 2 heart attacks, and then before I almost had my third heart attack, they actually see that there was something wrong with my kidneys. So after big operations and everything, they tried to save my left kidney, and last year in June, they had to remove my kidney. And Liesel said to me, please, Lizelle, just get yourself the X39 patch. And so I've started patching the week before I went for my operation. And the doctor actually told me and said, listen, Lizelle, you have to prepare yourself as a very big operation. You're probably going to be in hospital for about 10 days, which is going to be about 4 days in ICU. And to be honest with you, I went to theater with the patch. The doctor actually asked me, listen, what is this little thing here behind you on your neck? And I told him about it. And the doctors is always saying, oh, whatever. And 2 days after the operation, I was discharged. He couldn't
Wow.
open his eyes. My wounds heal very quickly. And I was feeling great. And yeah, it's a year later, I'm still patching, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great.
Well,
So
she used to be on
5.
five blood pressure tablets, chronic blood pressure medication, and she's off. She's not on
I
one.
don't use any.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
Fantastic.
so
Yeah.
I know that I must be honest with you that it's working, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Like we
Yeah.
say in the presentations, within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced, and within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. And you've
Yeah.
been on the patches for over a year now.
Yes.
And look at what you're testifying. And if we
Mm.
can come off of those medications, well, that's the best thing. We don't need to be poisoning our bodies anymore. We're
Yeah.
taking enough toxins through the air that we breathe. So well done, well done. And well done to Liesel for telling you to patch.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So yeah.
Yeah, I know it's amazing stuff.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for sharing. We
No
really
pleasure.
appreciate it. We appreciate you. Now
And
we have Viv and Bert, who will share their story with us. Viv and Ian Bert. Viv and Ian Bert. So, Viv, if you're on the call, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Just let me find you in the list, all the way down the bottom, alphabetical order. And then once I've asked you to unmute, you can go ahead and tell us your story.
Hi there, Andrew, and hi to everybody. Hi. So, what an interesting journey that we've been on. And it was probably Bridget that helped the whole thing happen. 2.5 years ago, my hubby was diagnosed or undiagnosed with a very rare blood disorder. But that was a whole thing that started in January 2023. And so much heartache and much just madness of him, being kept alive with blood platelet transfusions and so on. And we only got a final diagnosis last March. Anyway, in October of last year, I decided that I needed to go on a detox. So I pursued a fruit and veg detox for October, and Ian followed me on it. And he had a whole lot of energy and was remodeling the garden and whatever. And here I was 10 days into the detox, and I crashed. Blood pressure dropped. And I think it was also, I just knew I had to detox. And halfway through the 28 days, I knew that I had to phone Bridget and say to her, Bridget, I feel like I'm dying, and I can't be sick and Ian be sick in this family. There can only be one person sick, so I better get well. So we signed up, and I got my patches and Ian's patches 5th of November. And so we're 7 months to the day today of patching. And I'll just tell you a brief, sort of the first thing that I noticed was an incredible resurgence of energy and life force, because, having been on the detox, I didn't do well on the detox at all. I had a lot, obviously, to detox. And what was very interesting, in the 6th week, middle of December, I was working on my laptop in my dining room, doing some work on my clothing range. And I noticed that I was slouching, and I would bend forward, and I wondered what the heck was going on. Anyway, I soon realized that after having been diagnosed myself with 24% of scoliosis in my back, I realized that my rigid back was now becoming very supple, and that my muscles weren't able to hold me up because, they weren't strong enough. So I quickly worked that out. And then in January, I was measured, and I was 1.5 centimeters taller than I am normally. And Ian measured me about 2 months ago, and I'm now 2.5 centimeters taller with a loose back. I've gone back to yoga in April this year. I can't believe I'm like a little like an energy bunny on that yoga mat. I mean, it's just incredible. The amount of energy, the cognitive function is just crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So now I'm going to hand over to my beloved.
What Viv didn't tell you, I was diagnosed eventually with a megakaryocytic thrombocytopenia. There's only about 100 cases worldwide. My body stopped producing platelets. So I was on a fortnightly platelet transfusions. My platelet count went down to less than 5,000 platelets in my body, which means I had the potential of bleeding internally. So cut a long thing short, through various steroids and other heavy drugs. I'm now at 157,000 platelets, and just energy like you can't believe. So, which is fantastic. I mean, it's like a
miracle.
A miracle. It's I got a left knee from old school sport. I got a left knee that's like bone on bone. I don't even feel the pain in the left knee. At least I can walk now. I can do plenty of things. It's just X39. It's just fantastic.
He doesn't wear his knee guard anymore since he started taking the patches. No knee guard. That's 7 months. He's remodeled 6 areas in the garden and remodeled his whole garage. And he's built a stock control system for my 5 stores, my clothing outlets. I mean, his cognitive function is like, oh, my hat, I've got some competition going here. No.
To give it up, I'm basically 73 next month. So I feel like 53.
That's amazing. And you got a taller wife.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. And were you just using the X39 or any supplementary patches as well?
So for me, I started with the Aeon, carnosine, and glutathione in December, and I did it like twice a week. And then probably in February, I started also intermittently with X49. And then Ian's recently started with Aeon.
The Aeon, yeah.
And so he's on Aeon and X39. And
Fantastic.
I'm on much more stuff than him, and he was more sick than me, you know. But anyway.
Yeah. I shared on the presentation call last night that I got this very sort of vivid interpretation or understanding of how this actually works. And if you think of an artist wanting to restore a painting, if he gets that canvas in and that canvas needs restoration, let's say it's been damaged by water and dust and maybe a bit of mold, the first thing that the artist has to do is clean and prepare that canvas to be restored. So when we put the patch on and the patch starts doing what it's intended to do, and those peptides start waking up the stem cells are the artists that need to get to work to restore what's been damaged. Now, in some of us, there may be a lot more mold and a lot more dirt and a lot more damage than in others. So this is why we see results in different periods of time, because we can't dictate to our bodies where the X39 is going to get the stem cells to work. The stem cells get to work in the area of the most need in our body. And those are often things we don't see. Remember, symptoms are just a display of something else that's wrong. They're the warning signs to our bodies. So as the artist continues to work and it's prepared the canvas to begin that restoration, so we'll start seeing things taking form and taking shape. And they never add all the colors at one time as they rebuild that painting. They start working on the areas one color and one layer at a time. And eventually, after 3 to 6 months, you have a restored work. And that's exactly what's happening in our body. So these little stem cells are the ones that are the artists and recreating what they were actually designed and created to do. So maybe that helps in some way to understand what's going on, but that was a little revelation that I got and I thought I'd share with you. But thank you, Viv and Ian, for sharing.
Yeah,
and I believe, Viv, did you win a ticket to the convention on Tuesday night?
I did, and I'm so super excited because now we both can go to the convention. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Andrew. It's just
Wonderful.
yeah,
amazing.
thank you. It's
Wow.
fantastic.
So we will see you on Saturday at the convention. We're looking forward to
Yay.
meeting you there.
Yummy.
Wonderful. Excellent. Next, do we have John Stephen on the call from Scotland? Has he joined the call already? Just trying to have a look through the name list here. See Sandy having a look. I don't think he is on yet. Okay, well, that's fine for now. What I will do while we're waiting for John, I'm going to just give a little bit of an update on my situation. So I gave my testimony on the last call that Sandy hosted and shared with you about the diabetes that I was diagnosed with in November last year and the neuropathy pain. And I started patching with the Eon patch at the beginning of March. And within 4 days, the neuropathy pain was gone from my feet. And I only introduced the X39. It was about 2.5 weeks later, closer to the end of March. And what I've actually done since, I had to go for my 6-month checkup in the middle of May, the 15th of May. And my blood sugar average was 11.9 in November last year, and my blood sugar average now is 5.7. And my cholesterol average was 7.6, and it is now 3.2. So I went and I looked back at my tests, because I do a daily test. I prick my finger every morning and every evening, and I get those blood results. And if I look at the period where I introduced the X39, from about the end of March, beginning of April, my blood sugar level remained consistent in that time, from then until now. So the spikes during the day were almost neutralized. So I was having, if I went and looked back at the results, I would wake up in the morning and test. So you got a fasted result, and the test would be between, say, 5.2 and 5.8, which is not bad. But during the day, and by the time I tested in the evening, my sugar could have gone up to around about 7, 7.2, 7.3. And my GP said to me in November he would be very happy if I could maintain an average of 6.5. But now I've maintained an average of 5.7. So he's blown away. But from the time I introduced the X39 until now, the difference in my morning reading and my evening reading is maybe 2 points. So it could be about 5.2 or 5.3 in the morning and go up to about 5.5, 5.6. And sometimes I'm actually seeing in the evening that the reading is lower than the morning reading. So what I want to do is maintain that average until I finish the next course of the medication that I'm on. So I've got, I think, 9 days left of this month's medication. And then I want to wean myself off that medication and maintain that average, because I think the X39 is doing what it's meant to do, and it's helping to maintain that consistent level. Obviously, I have changed my diet and my other habits regarding what I put into my body, but I can honestly say that I believe the X39 has helped to rectify a lot of those things, and especially bringing that cholesterol level down. I also have started using the energy enhancer patch in the last week because I've been working 14 to 15-hour days to finish off a project. And I do construction work, so it's quite physical and demanding. And I've been using the energy enhancer patch, and I'm getting through these 14 and 15-hour days with ease. And I'm sleeping well at night as well. So I'm still using X39. I've introduced X49 as well. And from time to time, especially with these Joburg winters and being prone to allergies, I wear the Eon patch, especially stick it in the middle of my forehead before I go to bed, and I wake up and I feel my sinuses are clear and I don't have any blood nose or anything like that. So that's just a short update on where I'm at. So only been patching since March, and definitely experiencing and seeing fantastic results. I see some things coming up in the chat, so just let me catch up on the news there and see if John's joined the call yet. If not, I'll ask any of you if you would maybe like to share a testimony. Okay, yeah, very, very important. I see it in the chat there. You know, we emphasize that we need to drink plenty of water. There's so many processes that are happening in our body that were not happening before you put the patch on. Remember, within the first few days, 4,000 genes become active and reset in your body. That's a lot of work. There's a lot of physical things happening that you're not really in control of. So your body needs to remain hydrated. The water is a huge part of our makeup, our physical makeup, and it also is a huge part in transporting the nutrients and the things in our body that need to be transported to where they need to go. So it's really important that you remain hydrated in this. And my suggestion simply is drink a glass of water every hour. If you're wearing the patches for 12 hours a day and you drink 12 glasses of water, that's sufficient. You know, you can overdo it on water. I mean, some of the calculations I've seen people share, if I drank that much water, I would drown. So, you know, just make sure you have a glass of water every hour and keep yourself hydrated in that way. And then there's always been suggestions like adding some electrolytes and things like that to the water to help the water be more absorbed into the body and be more effective. So please, it's part of I hate the word protocol, but it's part of the suggested usage. Along with the patch, make sure that you are using or drinking enough water. Okay, Liesel, you have asked if you can share, only if it's not sugar related. But yes, of course, I will ask you to unmute and then you can share with us. There we go. Ask to unmute.
All right, great. Thank you for unmuting, Andrew. Yes, just a short history. So I had COVID during the COVID period. And just as COVID ended, I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease in the area of Graves' disease. Graves' disease sounds as if you already have one foot in the grave, which it felt like, but yeah, all right. So I went down a path with a homeopath. She took extremely good care of me, and she could get me to a certain level of being functional. And in July last year, I got extremely sick again. And she sent me to an endocrinologist because she didn't know in which direction this was going. So I signed up with LifeWave, I think it was in November 2024. I saw the endocrinologist in September, just a couple of months before that. And yeah, my family calls me stubborn, but I think I just think in boxes and work in boxes. So I did not want to start using the patches until I went for my follow-up with the endocrinologist in January. So I had these patches in my drawer, and because, you know, I love to see things work out. So I didn't want to use the patches and use the change in medication, and then I don't know where the credit should go to. All right. So I saw the endocrinologist in January again for the follow-up. He was happy with the progress. I have to say that he was very gracious with me, seeing the long road I had on natural medication. He did not put me onto any chemical medication, which was, I think, an answer to prayer. And then he just made a couple of changes, and I'm still using natural medication. So yeah, I started patching, and the lady who guided me, I bought the X39 and Aeon. And she said, now, okay, don't use both. Don't start off with both. You're not going to feel well. And I replied and I said, oh, you know, obviously this lady doesn't know me because my homeopath put me on this extremely strict anti-inflammatory diet for the last 3.5 years. So I tell you, nothing illegal enters my mouth. I'm as clean as a whistle. And then I started using the Aeon, and I phoned her. I said, listen, I think I'm getting sick. I don't know what's happening to me. So I was literally throwing off inflammation, although I've been on this anti-inflammatory diet for 3.5 years, and I'm still on it. But 2 weeks later, I started patching with the X39. And okay, I've been on it now about 4 or 5 months. And the changes, I'm self-employed, and I work very, very long hours. And I had to start my day twice, every single day, because around 1 o'clock it would feel as if I just fall flat. I had to go and sleep. I would sleep for 2 to 3 hours, wake up, start another day of working, so that I can just get through more hours of the working day. So I've not gone back for blood tests yet. I hope to be seeing the endocrinologist by September again. And then I would see, you know, what difference the X39 has made on my blood work. But for me, how I'm feeling now, my liver has improved. So I could, except for my anti-inflammatory diet, I could not even eat nuts anymore. I would become so nauseous, and I lost so much weight. It looks as if I was anorexic. And now I can eat meat again. I can eat nuts again, which I'm so grateful for. So my liver function has definitely improved. I'm not sure what the blood results would say, but the way I feel, I can see that. My mind is clear. I can organize. I can work strategically. I can plan. Those are things that I could not do. My emotions are all intact, all in line. I'm not exhausted. I'm not overwhelmed. I can actually focus and just feel like a human being again. So yes, I am excited going for more blood tests, because I would love to see what the patches have done for me scientifically. Yeah, that's my story. It's a story of progress, and I'll keep people updated.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Well done. Well done. Well done. And I think there'll definitely be a change in the blood work. That's for certain. One of the slides we share in the presentation where we show that the image from the live blood test, that always amazes me. I mean, after 10 minutes of exposure to the X39, how that clumping in the blood just disappears and how the blood opens up and it becomes clearer. So I definitely think you might have some very pleasant surprises, Liesel, when you go back. And remember, it's probably one of the first areas of our body that the X39 actually starts to get to work in is the blood, because it's the major transport system for everything. So definitely powerful, powerful testimony you shared with us, and we look forward to hearing those great results. Is there anybody else that would maybe like to share? I don't see John on the call yet, Sandy, but you said he might jump in at 8:30.
Hi, Andrew. I've just sent John a message.
Okay.
I see he's read it. He's typing. He's handing over a business to someone. He's just sold a business. I'll tell
Okay.
you now what he's saying. Hopefully he can hop on.
No problem. No problem. I'm really excited and looking forward to the convention this weekend. It's my
For sure.
first ever LifeWave convention.
Really?
Yes, yes, yes.
Are you
Absolutely.
going to love it?
So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to our keynote speaker as well, sharing her experience and being shared too by Harvey and Olga and George. So really, really excited about it.
Our keynote speaker is on this call.
I just saw.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Maybe she would like to introduce herself.
Perhaps, so let me quickly give you feedback. Back
Sure.
in 2 minutes, sorry, held up in shop. Hazel is driving like a rally driver. Yeah, it sounds like he's going to get on his phone.
Drive safely.
Yeah, drive safely, Andrew says. And if our keynote speaker would like to say a word, that's fine. And if not, we will wait in anticipation for Saturday. And the mini conventions in Cape Town were excellent on Tuesday and
I
Wednesday.
believe so. I believe so.
Really, really good, I must say.
Hi,
Oh, we lost you.
Yes.
okay. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I don't know how to switch on my video. Hello, good evening. I'm just really joining to listen and learn, but I'm looking forward to seeing and speaking to everybody on Saturday on the 7th. Just sharing my journey, a journey of resilience, I suppose, what I've learned along the way. And yeah, and I'm hoping to learn from everybody on Saturday. So I'm excited and looking forward to it.
Wonderful. We're
Thank
looking
you.
forward to meeting you, and I'm really looking forward to your inspirational story and the challenges you faced in your journey, and also the great success that you've tasted.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Okay. So yes, I believe big things are happening in Cape Town. Minky, yes, you can share your testimony in the meantime while John is racing wherever he's racing to. Let me just ask you to unmute. Here we go.
Okay, there. Good evening, everybody. I started my LifeWave journey in the beginning of this year, actually in March, and also didn't really think that patches can have such a tremendous effect on your body, and it's actually your body doing the work. So it's such a cool technology. So it was actually because of my husband that I decided to try the patches. I was watching a video that was shared by a friend with me, and he said to me, I think I want to try that. And he was on his way to go and work in Botswana, and he had a sore knee. And he always says that he's now 64, and he says that he can't afford to get too old to work. And his work is very active. You know, he has to carry heavy stuff. He works on site. They make movies and documentaries, etc. So with his knee that's been bothering him for over years now, he wanted to try the patches for that. So he was on the X39 for about 16 days. He came back from Botswana, and he said to me he was actually limping, that his knee was so sore by that time. And I had a few Aeons that a friend gifted me. And so we tried that evening with the Aeon on his knee. And he got up the next morning. I forgot to ask him how his knee was doing. And he was working the whole day, carrying heavy stuff. Went to bed that evening, and I saw him with a patch on his shoulder as he was getting into bed. And I didn't even ask, why do you have this patch on your shoulder? But because he was carrying all this heavy stuff and he was a bit sore. So the next morning we woke up and he said to me, I just want to tell you that I never thought that these patches would do its thing, but since yesterday, I have no pain at all. And it's been now 3 months later, and he doesn't go a day without his patches. He just strongly believes in it. Obviously, from my side, I had an ankle injury, which actually started feeling better within 4 days, and 2 sore shoulders. The right shoulder, I've got all the movement that I need in that shoulder, no pain, but my left shoulder is about 95% better. And one thing that I also want to share, that I never thought the patches would help with that, but I don't know what it really was, but I had like a type of tinnitus in my right ear, which would cause like a moth sound, like clapping of a moth. And it's so irritating when it happens. You can't even focus on anything. And evening time, I can't sleep because of the sound in my ear. It would wake me up, and there's just nothing that you can do that would help it. And the doctor said to me, there's nothing that you can do for that. You just have to put on a bit of white noise and hope that it will go away. And after 2 months, that has completely gone. So I have my sleep back, no more moth sounds in my ear, and looking forward to see what's happening next in our journey. We feel amazing. Sorry, just want to add, for 2 months, I was tired for 2 months. I didn't get that energy in the beginning, but now I can really say clear mind, focused mind, and lots of energy.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And that white noise was the little white lattice in the middle of the patch. That was the only noise you needed to hear, was your body's own infrared light being reflected back into your body. So tell the doctor about white noise. John is on the call, and he's
Yes.
joining us all the way from Scotland. Hopefully you didn't drive back from Scotland to here. But I'm going to ask you to unmute, John, and please share your story with us.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you so much for having me on tonight.
It's only a
All the way
pleasure.
from Bonnie, Scotland. So how long would you like me to talk for, Andrew? Half an hour, an hour, 3 hours, or 5 minutes, or 2 minutes? You tell me.
No, you got the floor. We'll give you a minimum of 5 minutes.
Okay. Hey guys, pleasure to meet you all. I seem to recognize all your faces from the calls. I tend to keep very quiet in the calls, but yeah, we're just gradually getting there. But on Saturday, I believe it's 10 months to the day since I got a call about this amazing product. I can't say anything else. I mean, incredible product. The previous 16 months, I had been in absolute torture, absolute agony with my hip. I had been to a very prestigious hospital here twice. I was offered my own supply of morphine, which I'm a bit anti-big pharma, as I guess most of us here are we're getting there. But up and yeah, I was offered, I wasn't really keen on that. I thought I would grin and bear it and just see what happened. But when I got the call that Saturday, I had decided on the Monday, I would phone the hospital and wave my white flag and say, I need the morphine. I just can't take this any longer. It was so just incredible. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't do my work. I've got fish shops, as you see there, fresh fish shops. It was so bad, and my wife Hazel doesn't know this, but I had sawed a broom stick in half to push the clutch pedal in it. If I pressed it in myself with my foot, I would have passed out with the pain. That's how bad it was. And I just want to mention this one because everybody loves their grandchildren, right? Everybody thinks their grandchildren are the best. But just for your records, ours really are. And 2 weeks before I got the call, I heard my namesake, my grandchild, saying to Hazel, Grandma, why doesn't Granda play with us anymore? And that was like a dagger through the heart. And I was lying through in the lounge in the couch in agony, and I couldn't get off the couch to play with him, you know. And that kind of led me to thinking, I've got to get this morphine. I don't know what to do. So it was 2 weeks after that, I get a call, and this lady who I know says to me, because she knows I just can't stand BS, you know, over the years, because we did have a big network marketing background, but we had been out it for probably 12 years or more, well, more than that. We built a small chain of fishmonger shops. And over the years, I've been pitched for many, many, many herbal medical stuff, shakes, powders, potions, lotions, whatever. And I just can't stand the nonsense. She says, John, it's Jacqueline here. We've never done business. We've never spoke about business, but we're pals on Facebook. You need, I know you're in a lot of pain. She says, you need to listen what I'm about to tell you. And all right, okay. What's this? She says, I know you're in a lot of pain, so listen to what I'm telling you. She says, a few months ago, I had a big cancer operation and I didn't need one painkiller. And that really resonated with me. That rang my bell. It hit home because during the lockdowns, the pandemic, I played squash, then racquetball for 43 years. And the squash courts were closed. So we all took up mountain biking and we was having so much fun. It was absolutely brilliant with my family, my son, my daughter, my son-in-law. We was having such a great time. And one fateful morning, I fell off my bike. And at this age of life, you just don't bounce the same, you know. So it was this shoulder here. You see the shape of it's a bit odd. Right into the rocks. They ended up with 3 plates and a titanium rod sticking out of there that I can feel. And after that, I was, how do I say this so it translates? I was spaced, I was out my face for 10 weeks. I couldn't go into work for 10 weeks, which was fine because with management in place at the time. But I was basically out my face. Hazel was coming in for work at 5, 6 o'clock at night. I thought it was 5, 6 o'clock in the morning with these painkillers. So here's a lady telling me her operation was a lot bigger and a lot worse than my operation, but she didn't need one painkiller. So I said, "Oh, right, I'm open." And I couldn't really talk because I was in, you know, when you're in so much pain, you can't think. It's just throb, throb, throb. I says, "Look, Jacqueline, I don't really care what you're doing. I don't care what it is. Just send me your link." "Let me tell you about the science," she says. "I don't care about your science. Just tell me, just send me your link." And then she says, "Well, let me explain how you need to purchase it." I says, "I'm sure I'll figure it out. Send me your link. I need to put the phone down. I'm really sorry, I'm in agony." Put the phone down. 2 seconds later, she sent me the link. So I went about it all the wrong way. Typical. No listening. And but I managed to order the product. It came in 3, 4 days. And I came home for the shops 5, 6 at night. I wait to put the product on. And then I see in the instructions, wear 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So I thought, at this stage, I really didn't believe a word. And I mean, I really didn't believe a word. It was just something that I just hoped and prayed it might be something there. But so the next day, I put it on, top on my spine, and I can tell you this, guys, I will never go one day in my life without that. I put it on and it top my spine, as instructed. This was early in the morning before we went into shops. And by the time I walked from our bedroom to our kitchen, 95% of my very dramatic and embarrassing limp had gone, and I was pain-free for the first time in 16 months. And I'm saying to Hazel, "What the hell? What is this?" You know? I really couldn't believe it. I'm walking back and forth the kitchen there. Look, I can walk. Because basically I couldn't walk. Now, I'm a one-patch wonder, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I thought everybody would be a one-patch wonder. So I'd warned for maybe a fortnight or whatever it was, and I was chatting with my sister. She lives way up north, and she says, "Do you think it could help my dog?" In fact, I've got 5 minutes, so I'll just show you this, because this is amazing, guys. This will blow your mind. Let me just find it here. Sorry, I should have seen this up to show you, but I didn't know I was going to show this. But this will absolutely blow your mind. LifeWave. So this is my sister's dog. So you can see it's got quite a big limp there, yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, did you see that? Okay.
Yes.
So it's got quite a big limp there. The very next day, sorry of this. Let me just go somewhere else. EWA. The EWA. Sorry, I'm actually just into the door. I had no time to prepare. But and I can put this on the page or whatever you want, guys. The very next day, the same dog out for the same walk had no limp at all. So I'm thinking,
Amazing.
Wow, that's my story. I've now got my sister's dog. So then a dear friend of mine came to mind. Ray, maybe you've seen Ray's testimonial, so powerful. Ray fell off a roof. He used to put up the Sky Dishes satellite dish. Fell off a roof 26 years ago, and he was in pain management. He was in cocodamol, tramadol, temazepam. I didn't even know you could get that stuff. He'd recently had a heart attack 3 years before, which left him with shallow breathing, and his feet used to blow up like footballs at night. As he says, if he was a horse, they would have put him down. So I phones Ray and tells him of this. I says, "Ray, I don't know nothing about it, but it's helped me so much. You really need to try this." And he thought I was exaggerating, but Ray, like me, was at a stage that he would have tried anything. He got it. Now, bear in mind, after 26 years of agony, 26 years, not like me, only 16 months, pain management systems, tramadol, cocodamol, temazepam, he tries the product. Within 3 days, he was pain free. Within 4.5 months, sorry, Hazel's burning the fish there. If you hear my alarm going off. Within 3.5 months, he's off all the drugs. Sorry, 4.5 months, he's off all the drugs. So that was maybe me 2 months in the business or 2 months using the product. So then I thought I'll tell our friend, just in Perth, Scotland, which is maybe half an hour from here, Margaret, about this product, because I knew she was suffering long-term, 15 years, fibromyalgia and arthritis. Margaret came to meet us with her daughter, Nikki, who'd had issues as well. Margaret, in 5 days, sorted after 15 months of drugs. Sorted. So I thought, I need to, I didn't even really know. I thought my sponsor was just an affiliate. I didn't know it was MLM. And I had sworn blind, never, ever, ever to go down the MLM route again in my life, you know. Although we did have serious success with it, but that was many years ago. And I thought, I better look into this. And I was delighted to find, number one, it's not a startup, because I had been done big time, same as a crypto, big time, lot of money. And so I thought, well, we'll start, but you know how you start doing it just here, there. I had 7 shops at a time, so we didn't have much. I thought I'll do 10 minutes a day. But here's a thing, guys. I never ever did more than 11, 12 minutes. But you know what? I never ever did 9. I said 10 minutes a day is what I would do. With the 7 shops, 14 staff, blah, blah, blah. And then so much people was getting results. And I thought, yeah, this is it. And I'm now, and this isn't a choice thing. We're scaling back our shops in a big way. We're more or less down to 2. Heartbreaking what's going on. And so I'm going to have a lot more time that we can dedicate to this incredible business, this incredible product, and this. And I've never thought I'd say this ever in my life, guys. This incredible company. Loving the sound of 9 income streams instead of 4. And so that's where we're at. We're doing, I guess, okay. Nothing spectacular. But now I think it's time to knuckle down and go for the spectacular, because if Chris and Javi and all these guys can make that amount of money, so can you. So can I.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gearing up for that, ready to go. Like a coiled spring. I have a couple of things I need to sort out with the shops. But I honestly see, and I didn't even want to say this because I was so anti-MLM. I honestly see a massive future for us now. So there you go, Andrew. I hope that helps.
Absolutely. And we appreciate that. And thank you. So there were 3 old dogs that got healed and restored from the X39, hey?
2 friends and a dog. And me.
And you. No, that's fantastic.
That has
Thank
really
you.
started our LifeWave journey, you know. But I had no intention of doing anything with the business at all. But the results says to me, the results that we've seen says it would be selfish not to share this product.
Absolutely. The worst thing we can do is not talk about it. Yeah. Sandy, you got your hand up and you are
a very quick thing. Thanks, yes. John. John, it's like there's something in the Scottish water. All of you get superb results in amazing time frames.
Just let me say, that's not true. That was just the Ray and Margaret, the first 2 people in the dog that I spoke to. But some people take longer than others. It's the same globally, I guess. I was so lucky, so lucky, and so appreciate it if this thing worked for me straight away, within probably 20 seconds, you know.
Awesome.
And I don't know, maybe you guys, maybe one of you can explain to me how it can work in me within 20 seconds. And it doesn't work in other folk in 20 seconds. But
watch the recording of this call. I explained that restoration process.
All right, I will do, Andrew. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, John. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Wonderful. We have a special guest joining us on the call. Good evening, Mr. Hatting.
Hello, how's it, Andrew? How you doing?
Good, good, good. Welcome, welcome.
Good. Let me show you where we are. We got a couple of people together here. I don't know if you could see. Wait, let's first start off here. Okay, introduce yourself. Where are you from?
Hi, I'm Julie Hutchings from Zimbabwe. We're here for the convention this weekend.
And I'm her devoted mother from Botswana.
And then we have George.
Hi guys. He's turning me around. I don't know. There I am. There you are. I can see you. So I'm here just came from Cape Town. Amazing meeting people in Cape Town, here in Johannesburg. Going to be talking on Saturday with 400, 500 people. I don't know how many yet. Can't wait. Sharing, learning, meeting more people, talking about the patches, inspiring. And Saturday week, not this Saturday, I'll be in London as well. So guys, if you can't get to the event in Johannesburg because you're in London or near London, come to the event in London. Super amazing story what we're doing here. We have a big job, a big mission. Share the patches, keep us posted.
And guys, you'll never guess who's here for the very first time in South Africa. We have Dr. Ali.
Hey.
Here in South Africa for the first time. Welcome, Ali, to South Africa.
Yeah, it's amazing here. I've just had the best steak I have ever had in my entire life. It was crazy. That's South Africa for you. And so I'm going to be talking at the convention here in Johannesburg on Saturday. I've got 3 topics. I'm going to be talking a little bit about detox reactions, but also about using AI in your business to expand and to know what to say to people. So you really need to get your ticket if you are anywhere near that continent, this continent here, come to the meeting on Saturday. And if not, come and see me in London where I'm not speaking, but you can come and say hello anyway. So if you're in the UK, make sure you book your ticket for that. Events, I cannot stress enough the power of events. They make all the difference. Networking with people in person makes a huge difference to your success and your posture in your business. So it's really, really important.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Can't wait to see you on the stage on Saturday. And then, guys, we have Harvey and Olga that have flown in all the way from New Jersey, USA, here in South Africa.
Hello, everyone. We are so excited. We just got to Johannesburg from Cape Town. We love South Africa. It's beautiful. The people here are the most welcoming people. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. Every time I come to South Africa, it's the second time, but my first time, I left with such a fire. I left the fire. And meanwhile, I'm trying to pour the fire into others. But I have to say something. I've seen the lineup of people that are going to be speaking. My friends, you are going to have the best of the best pour into you and teach you the ins and outs of this business. It's simple. And I think a lot of us are overcomplicating it. Okay, it's simple and there's nothing to it. We're going to teach you, we're going to show you, and together we're going to lock arms and we're going to build a bigger South Africa LifeWave team.
Hey guys, you know, it's amazing how when people want more in life and want to do something about it. There's 76 people on this call right now. And I want to just say this. Over here, we're sitting in dinner and all we did was talk about what we have to do on Saturday to impact people to see a better version of them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we talked about. What are we going to do to deliver? What are we going to do to change the mindset of people? What are we going to do? And how can we help you change that poverty mindset and go from an active mindset? But you have to be there to witness this. Zoom is one thing, but seeing something in person is another. Invest in yourself. If we can come from the other side of the globe to come here and feed you the knowledge that we have, so we can go from success to significance, you can come to Joburg and invest in yourself, okay, and invest in your business, because your team is going to do what they not what they see. They're going to do. They're going to do what they see, not what they're told. Okay, if it's important to you, it'll be important to your team.
Yes.
Okay, this is a pay by number business, folks. Just on Saturday, we want to see you. We want to give you a hug. We want to take a picture with you. Invest in yourself. This will be the best investment you're going to have in your business. Your business goes from event to event to event. You're going to make a decision when you go to this event. Yes. I'm looking at people here. I took the phone. I'm looking at Sandy Feast. Sandy. Bridget, you're here. Hey, Graham, how are you? Johnny, you're here. Hey, look at that smile that Desiree got. I expect to see you there too if you're not in the UK. All right, listen to me, Viviani and Ian Burt. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I got to see you guys there. Invest in yourself. Is not a big investment. And you know what? You have one on here. And guys, we hope to see you on Saturday. We want to see you on Saturday. Let's pack the house. Hey, Miss Minky Haynes, we're going to have to see you there too. All right, we're going to see all you guys there. We see you in person. Zoom sucks. We want to see people in person. Yeah. Okay. I promise when we speak, I don't spit. Okay. We're going to see you guys. I'm going to leave you to Lucinda and Chris. They put a kick-ass event. If it wasn't for them,
None of this would be
possible. All right, guys. So here you go.
Evening, everybody. Thank you for just listening in for a minute or two. From me, I just want to say there is still seats available. You do not want to miss this. We are on fire. We're bringing our A game. You're going to learn so much. You're going to just be wrapped with love and appreciation for you as brand partners. And we're just leveling it up, bringing everything that we can for you guys. Don't miss us. Miss out. Buy your tickets now. We look forward to seeing you. Take care. Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Sandy. So awesome seeing you all and looking forward to seeing you guys and hearing more testimonies what this amazing company and what this amazing product is doing for people around the globe. Just absolutely amazing to watch and see every day. Andrew, thank you so much.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Excellent. So we are done for the night. Thank you very, very much to every single one of you who have shared tonight your testimonies and participated in this call. That's what this community is all about. And like I said, just after John spoke, the worst thing we can do is not to tell anybody about it. You know, we really have to make that effort and share. And that's what I love about this. And John, I agree with you. MLM sucks. But when you've got a product that does what it says it will do and it is impacting people's lives, then we just can't keep quiet. And people start actually saying to you, hey, what are you doing that's so different? Why are you not walking with a limp anymore? What happened to that acne that was all over your face? What happened to these things that you had that were visible, that people could see? And you become your own testimony, and people see that and they respond to it. So the worst thing we can do is not to talk to people. Have a wonderful evening. There's no Friday evening presentation tomorrow because of the convention on Saturday. We've got a bit of preparing to do. And I do believe that I have a speaking slot somewhere during the course of Saturday. So if you are there, you will get to hear something from me. Hopefully it will be insightful. But thank you for joining us on the call. Have a wonderful evening. And those of you who are attending the convention, I look forward to seeing you there. And those of you who aren't, well, I'll see you on the calls next week. Have a great evening further. Good night and God bless.
Yes.